LinkedIn is often forgotten when building a social media strategy, but don't sleep on LinkedIn. There's really powerful audience building techniques that we can deploy in order to access an extremely wealthy and extremely engaged audience. The power of repurposing is that we can hit multiple different platforms without having to do a huge amount more work. We can 10x our output without 10xing our input. LinkedIn in particular is a great complement to X because X focuses on business to consumer and LinkedIn focuses on B2B or business to business. Also, if you've spent any time on LinkedIn at all, you'll realize that a lot of the content there is complete and utter rubbish, which means that if you are producing quality content and you're able to repurpose it in order to get the volume required to get noticed, you are going to do well on LinkedIn and be able to build a secondary traffic channel. The first absolutely no-brainer repurposing that you can do going from X to LinkedIn is simply to repost your short form. If you aren't doing this, you're missing out on free, very easy to get traffic. When taking a short form post from X and taking it to LinkedIn, you don't even need to edit. There's nothing you need to do. You just need to bring it across from one platform to the next. If you're doing this manual, it's as simple as copy pasting from Twitter into LinkedIn. Alternatively, you can use a tool like Hypefury or Tweet Hunter. These are both premium tools that allow you to schedule your X posts, but they also allow for you to cross-promote onto other platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. In the case of Hypefury, LinkedIn automation is built in, whereas with Tweet Hunter, you need an additional tool called Taplio. Whenever you are scheduling your X posts on one of these platforms, just toggle on the LinkedIn post in order to send it to LinkedIn as well. This form of repurposing really requires zero effort. It's entirely automatic once you've set up these tools. There's one caveat here. Some experts say that you shouldn't post as much on LinkedIn as you do on a platform like X. Personally, I find that the more I post on LinkedIn, the better I do, the higher my reach and the higher my engagement. I have not reached a level when I've seen a deleterious effect of posting too much. However, for safety, you may want to limit your LinkedIn posts to 2 to 3 per day with large gaps in between. I've never had any problems at this kind of limit. LinkedIn articles are a form of long-form post that sits on LinkedIn and allows you to prove your authority and your leadership in a particular area. If short-form posts, like short snippets of text, are your top of funnel content, then articles are your middle of funnel. You start to bring people from your awareness stage down to getting to know you and spending more time reading your content. My recommendation is you take your long form posts from X and you bring them directly over to LinkedIn and post them as LinkedIn article. This is as simple as copy pasting the text over from X over to LinkedIn. In order to write an article on LinkedIn, head to Start a Post at the top of your homepage and look for the little logo that says Write an Article. This will bring up a larger text editing interface. It looks a bit like Word or Google. And then copy and paste in the text from X over to LinkedIn. You will need to manually import the images because right now LinkedIn doesn't work well with copying in the image. If you feel though that your long form X posts are not quite the right format for your LinkedIn audience, then I've actually created a ChatGPT prompt that will create LinkedIn articles from scratch for you using other long form pieces of content like a blog. Here's the act as a social media. Convert this content piece into an article for a link. Retain the length and comprehensiveness of the post. Focus especially on the title. Provide 5 hook title examples for me to choose from. Provide these at the top of the. This is important because on LinkedIn, what people will see in the preview is the title of the post. Refine the readability using line breaks after every 1 to 2 sentences to make reading flow. 4 image or graphic suggestions in line with the content within square brackets. Do not use emojis. They don't work on. Add LinkedIn hashtags to the bottom of this piece. Hashtags do work on LinkedIn, so we're going to. As well as the rewritten article, also give me a short post to announce the article and get people to click through to read it. I'll talk about why we're doing this in a moment. Content piece begins, copy paste. And here is an example output that you're going to get from ChatGPT for this particular prompt, feeding in a longer form blog. Additionally, this prompt is going to generate both hashtags, which still work on LinkedIn and should be used, and an announcement. We need one of these announcement posts because what's going to appear on the timelines of your audience is actually a post which will have some text saying that you've got a new article and then a link to the article itself. The article will not appear in their timeline, so we need this extra. However, I've set up this ChatGPT prompt in order to give you the announcement post as well as the article, so you can copy and paste both in. Now, this is an exciting one. LinkedIn has a format which you can no longer use unless you are running adverts on LinkedIn. However, there's a way to work around the strictures and use this banned. LinkedIn carousels used to be the most powerful format on. Carousels are basically a series of images that can be swiped through on a. The problem was they were too engaging. Just a year or so ago, LinkedIn was flooded with carousels. LinkedIn, however, decided enough was enough. They murdered the carousel format and instead made it a paid advertising. They've reserved one of the most engaging formats only for the people who run LinkedIn advertising, and have taken it away from everyone else who wants to use it. Well, damn. However, there is a way to make carousels, a sneaky way. We're going to repurpose our threads from X and convert them into carousel. So first up, choose a thread that you want to repurpose. I'm going to use a thread that I used in previous. And you're going to go and head to a site called TweetPic. It's free to use and it's a very easy to use tool, and I'll show you how quick. You're going to go ahead and click on use multiple tweets, and we're going to add the URL of each of the individual posts in our. Once you've done that, go ahead and click load tweets and you'll see this interface. We're going to select all posts, and then you'll see the final design interface where we can finalize the look and decide. Do what you want with the design. You can change the colors, you can change whether it looks like a Twitter post or not. This bit's totally up to you. What is important though is you want to set it to the format and Instagram feed as the dimension. Instagram feed is a square 1:1 ratio, which is perfect cell, and PDF is going to allow us to hack our way into LinkedIn and create one of these illegal. When you're happy with the look and feel of your images, head over to LinkedIn and click Start a Post, which is going to be at the top of. Inside the Start a Post interface, you're going to want to click the ... to bring up the additional option, and then click Add a dot. Simply drag and drop the PDF that you just created from TweetPic into LinkedIn, and boom, you have created a carousel. This is going to be what it looks like, and this will be swipeable on a telephone just like the carousels of. Pretty sweet. So that's how we can repurpose an X thread into a LinkedIn carousel, even though LinkedIn don't allow us to do this.